Hello everybody, welcome to Story Time. I hope you're all enjoying this lovely summer holiday. It won't be long before schools are back and we'll get back to a wee bit more normal story time and tots music. But for this week and next week, it's still just a wee short story. So today's story is about one of these, a nail. It's called Nail Soup. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. One dark, stormy night, a poor man knocked on the door of a cottage and he asked for some shelter. Well, the woman who answered the door told the man sourly that he could come in if he wanted, but he must not expect anything to eat because she had no food in the house. And don't you think you'll get a bed to sleep in either, she added, as I only have one bed and that is where I sleep. Well, the man was hungry, but he could see he wasn't going to get any food. So he sat beside the fire and he took an old nail out of his pocket and he tossed it from hand to hand. Do you see this nail here? He said at last. You'd never believe it, but last night I made the finest soup I've eaten by cooking this nail. And what is more, I still have it here with me to make more tonight. Would you like me to make you some nail soup? Nail soup, snorted the woman. I have never heard of such a thing. Don't talk nonsense. But the man could see that she was curious. All I did, he told her, was to boil it up in an old saucepan, and it was delicious. Well, since we have nothing else to do, and I have no food in the house, perhaps you would be good enough to show me how to do it, she said after a few moments. You haven't a large pan and some water? Asked the man. Why, yes, said the woman, handing a big cooking pot to the man and showing him where the water was. She watched as he carefully filled the pot half full with water, placed it on the stove, and then dropped in the nail. Then he sat down to wait. From time to time, the old woman peeped into the pot to see how the soup was doing. And once, when she lifted the lid, the man said, Last night, all that was needed was a little salt and pepper. I don't suppose you have any in the house. I might have, said the old woman ungraciously, and from a cupboard she took salt and pepper, which she dropped into the water with the nail. The next time she lifted the lid, the man said, What a pity we haven't got half an onion, for that would make the soup even better than it was last night. I think I might have an onion, said the old woman, quite excitedly by now at the thought of the nail soup, and she went to the larder to fetch an onion. As she opened the door, the man caught a glimpse of shelves stacked with food, but he said nothing until the onion had been in the pot for about 10 minutes. Then, stirring the soup again, he murmured to himself, How sad that this fine onion has no carrots or potatoes to go with it. Just as he hoped, the woman quickly fetched some carrots and potatoes from the larder. By now, The soup was beginning to smell good, and it was not long before the man said that on nights when he could add a little meat to his nail soup, it was fit even for kings and queens. In a flash, the woman had fetched some meat for the pot. While the soup was bubbling, the man looked at the table. "It's a funny thing," he remarked, "but my nail soup always tastes better when I eat it at a table that is laid with pretty china and there's a candle or two on the table." The woman, not to be outdone, put out her best tablecloth and got the best china from the dresser. "What a shame," said the man, "that we have no bread to eat with this nail soup, but I remember you telling me there was no food in the house." I'll just have a look in the bread crock," said the woman, and she pulled out a loaf that had been baked that very morning. Well, the soup now smelled delicious, and the old man was longing to eat it. But he waited a few more minutes before saying, "I'm very sorry there is no wine to drink with the nail soup, as I would have liked you to enjoy it with a glass of wine." "Just a minute," said the woman, and she fetched a fine-looking bottle of wine from the rack in the back of the cupboard and put it on the table with 2 glasses. "Now, the soup is ready. I hope you enjoy it," said the man, and he fished the nail out with a spoon and he put it into his pocket before carrying the soup over to the table. Well, they both had a wonderful meal. After the soup, which the woman agreed was the best she'd ever tasted, she found some cheese and other good things in the larder. They told each other many stories, laughed a lot, and had a very pleasant evening. As the candles burnt low, the woman told the man to go and sleep in her bed, saying she would be quite comfortable in the chair by the fire. They both slept soundly. The next morning, the man thanked the woman for her kindness, but she said, No, I must thank you for showing me how to make nail soup. I never would have thought you could make soup from a nail." The old man smiled. "It's what you add that makes a difference," he said, as he went on his way with his nail in his pocket.